So as we begin, I'd like to invite our esteemed panelists to the stage, to join me on the stage, discussing natural diamonds in the Chinese market. So I'd like to invite Mr. Lawrence Ma, the founding president of the Diamond Federation of Hong Kong, China, and he's also the CEO of the Li Heng Diamond Group. Mr. Kent Wong, the managing director of Chow Fook. Ms. Sissi Xu, managing director for Greater China of the Natural Diamond Council. Mr. Marcus Lung, the account director at De Beers Group. Mr. Kellan Bo Dong, president of Kimberlite Diamonds, and Mr. Andy Golecha, the general manager of KGK Shanghai. Ladies and gentlemen, if the panelists could please join me on stage, and everyone should take a seat, that we can get started soon. Thank you to our panelists. So the way we are going to structure our discussion today is I'm going to give a short introduction to the topic, and then I'm going to allow each of the panelists to introduce themselves. In fact, you know what, let's start with that if each of the panelists that are called up could say maybe, you know, one or two sentences about who you are and your company and your role in the diamond market. So Kent, if we can start with you perhaps. Yeah, we'll go in this order.
Okay, thank you so much. Good afternoon, I'm Kent Wong. I'm working in the industry more than 40 years, okay? I am the managing director of Chow Fook Jewelry Group. I have worked together closely with already NDC, De Beers, and even the China Gem and Jewelry Association long time. So I appreciate we can share each other today. Thank you.
Thank you, Kent. Lawrence?
Yes, I'm Lawrence Ma. I come from Hong Kong. Well, I've been involved in the diamond industry for the last over 50 years. And I'm the founding president of the Hong Kong Diamond Federation, and I'm very much involved and very much love the industry. And this time I come actually not only to share my thoughts, maybe just to learn from all the others here, because I think the world is happening so fast and so many challenges, but at the same time a lot of opportunities. So I look forward to the engagement and the discussion we will engage into.
Thank you, Lawrence, and I've learned so much from you over the years, so I look forward to your perspective, that's for sure. And that's what we're all here to do, is to learn and discuss, share ideas. Sissi?
My name is Sissi Xu. I'm the managing director of NDC Natural Diamond Council China. I've been with the NDC for over 6 years, and it's my pleasure to be here to sitting with all the big guys in the industry and to talk about the dynamic of China diamond market and also the evolving changes right now happening in the market.
Thank you, Sissi. Andy.
I'm Andy from KGK Group. My experience in the industry is relatively much lesser than the gentlemen's here. So I'm here in China for last 20 years and in this industry also for last 22 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Marcus.
Hi everybody, good afternoon. This is Marcus Nong. I've been working with DBS for more than 30 years and currently looking after the retailer customers. As I said earlier, I worked in Shanghai previously, so we realized that huge potential of the China market. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcus. And way at the end of the other end of the stage, we have Kellan. So
Thank
if
you.
could introduce-
Hello, everyone. My name is Kellan. I'm from Kimberlite Diamonds. We're the only natural diamond retail here in China. And it's almost been 30 years in the diamond industry. And we're very excited today to be here to share and to learn. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here. And we have such a diverse group of panelists really covering the spectrum of the market. You know, there's a story in the diamond industry of an American dealer who was asked one day, and this maybe was the early 2000s, may even be myth, but the story goes that he was asked how business is going, and it was a period when the diamond industry was very seasonal, as to some extent it is still. And the dealer answered the question by saying, you know, if only we had another Christmas, everything would be great. And fast forward a few years later, and the dealer market was blessed with a second Christmas, being the Chinese New Year. That was, and particularly in that period of hyper expansion of retail in China, perhaps in the 2010s, let's say, there was it really stimulated the midstream diamond market, that they enjoyed this second season that extended the Christmas season. And we're seeing that in other markets like India as well. Today, China is the second largest market for diamond jewelry, accounting for approximately 10% of global diamond jewelry retail sales, according to the De Beers Insight Report. And it's eclipsed only by the United States, which accounts for 55%. And that's largely been a blessing for the industry. The story illustrates the extent to which the industry in China has grown in the greater scheme of things. But part of what's made 2023 so challenging for the global industry is that both China and America have showed some slowdown. And there's some uncertainty as to how China is really performing. Historically, there have been periods when China has been good and compensates for weakness in the United States, and the other way around. But we experienced a challenging market in both markets in 2023. So there are questions that we are wondering about the Chinese market. How is it really performing? When will it bounce back? And most importantly, what might stimulate demand for natural diamonds, and what is influencing consumer attitudes toward the product? So our aim today in this panel discussion is to shed some light on those questions with the perspective of our diverse and highly experienced panelists. So I'd like to start with a perspective of the retail market. And we have a number of retailers on the panel today. So to get some perspective of how consumers are relating to the diamond and jewelry industry and how the performance of the industry was affected in 2023. So perhaps, Kellan, if you could comment on that. What was your experience as a natural diamond retailer in 2023?
You know, this year, the Chinese New Year, the Year of Dragon, the holiday that we just passed, it's actually the first holiday that after all the COVID restrictions here in China has been lifted. So we see a lot of movement, like mass movement around the country. So it's a good sign, and that leads to our industry that as a retailer, I do see a slightly increase in the natural diamond, the retail in our store. For example, you know, products such as you know, the Year of Dragon related, you know, those products, and also the product that's more of represents luck. That's it's been going up during the holiday seasons. But however, if you want to compare to pre-COVID, I think there's still a long way to go. Yeah.
Right. So there are various comparison points. As an industry, we tend to think of using pre-COVID as a benchmark. And then we had these wonderful years in the United States, which influenced the global trade to really boom through 2021 and 2022. And then 2023 became an unfair comparison to those boom years for us. And so again, that question is, what is the fair comparison? And Kent, I turn to you because Chow Fook has reported very strong growth in certain products categories, particularly in gold product, and less so in the gem sets, jewelry, under which diamonds would fall. And so can you give us some sort of feedback, particularly from the Chinese New Year season, in terms of what is, how is growth in the market evolving, and what is stimulating growth? Are we seeing that bounce back from the diamond category?
Okay. First of all, I would like to help you understand the buying habit of Chinese people, especially in the recent 3 to 5 years. We can see the market overall still growing. As we can see, according to overall jewelry consumption, I think the CAGR growth, even though in the past 5 years we have overcome some turbulence, okay, because of COVID, but take a 5-year CAGR growth, still a kind of a mid-single to high-single growth, which is a bit higher than the GDP growth. In the past 5 years, it is a kind of 5%, right, GDP growth. But jewelry consumption still land a high single digit, which is outperformed than the GDP growth. That is tapped to the government strategy, which is the market. I mean, the GDP growth in future should be driven by consumption and also driven by high quality expansion. Okay, that is something that the government already identified. Okay, one thing. Second, China as a market, I mean, buying purple or people's buying trend highly influenced by one, what we call social media, KOL, social media, one of the important points. Second, is driven by seasonal. Okay, in US, most of the time, I understand the biggest kind of full year contribution, which is focused on Christmas. But in China, there are a lot of season, what we have traditional season, like Chinese New Year, okay? Second, we have Valentine's Day, but Chinese kind of Valentine's Day, okay? Of course, we also driven by Western festival, like Valentine's Day, 14th of February. And also, we can create some innovate, in some creative festival, like Double 11, you know. You know what's Double 11, which is 11th of November, okay? Originally, it is a sales, focus on online sales to boost the sale. However, now today become an online and offline sales festival. So there are a lot of festival, a lot of seasonal promotion in China. Okay, that is how we can capture this kind of buying moment. Okay, that is something important. And then I think important is that the way, what kind of product they like to buy. They change from, I remember that 5 or 10 years ago, young people, they don't buy gold jewelry. They don't buy. They say this is only for their ma and for the grandma, okay? They don't buy. They only buy diamond. They buy gem set, okay? But 5 years ago, they changed their preference to gold jewelry, I think because of marketing, because of social media, you know, that I think another thing which is culture, you know. Gold jewelry, they evolve themselves. They create or improve the product line through storytelling. We in use of Chinese culture to become one of the feature of the theme to design. I think that we can tell a good story. Compare with diamond, we don't have any story, okay? We don't know how to tell story. And we don't know where we can directly deliver this kind of information to the right people. Traditional kind of magazine, you cannot in touch with the young people. I think you have to use social media. So that is something we can see. The market is still there, but the way and what they buy, why they buy, everything is changed, okay? Go back to the Chinese New Year recently. Actually, the total sales, which is better than what we expect, and even the sales is better than last year. Yeah, but still gold-driven.
It's gold-driven, and it's somewhat surprising because the diamond industry has so many wonderful stories to tell. And Sissi, you'll comment on this, and we'll get back to this topic of storytelling and the consumer mindset as well. Before we do so, Lawrence, I wonder if you can comment on that sort of trend of gold jewelry. And it seems that there is a there is an attitude that there is a real asset when you're buying gold as opposed to diamonds. And I'm wondering if that is playing into that dynamic too.
Yes, I think in China, especially in the last 2-3 years, the shift of popularity to gold is very predominant. Actually, there are so many things that happen. So each factor will contribute to the like or the dislike by the consumers. For example, in China, we're talking about gold. In the last few years, I think technology has helped gold jewelry a lot because they can add something to the gold and make it a lot harder because pure gold used to be very soft and it's difficult to have great designs and things to. So people always thought gold is for the older generation, it's a traditional design. But actually in the last few years in China, look at the gold beads that the younger generation love to have. They have enamel on the gold beads and becomes fashionable for the younger generation. And in the last few years, another thing, I think in the last decade or so, technology make the world's information travel fast. And China, it goes even faster. So once something becomes popular, people will rush to do it. And the second thing is that you also hear about during the pandemic, some people were trying to sell the diamond jewelry and probably they don't get as much as they expected that they would get back when they sell back their diamond. And so on the other hand, when they buy gold, they thought the gold they can get a lot more back from when they resell the gold. So it gives them a different taste for gold, differentiate gold and diamond jewelry. And then we have the lab-grown diamond coming in. So actually a lot of things are happening, but my point is that given the information world, different pockets of consumers, different age group, different tastes, different budget, they have different preferences for things to come. And I think the latest diamond challenge is that once when you see on the paper that the diamond prices are coming down, people will stop buying it because they don't want to look like a fool and buy something that the price are weakening. Right. So I think this is probably a cycle that we have to endure, which I hope is going to be over soon, and then we probably will be seeing the resumed demand from the diamond connoisseur who will come back to buy it. So at the same time, proof the point is that like rubies and sapphires in the last year or two has been selling very well. So they already have their synthetic counterparts, which are selling like 5% of the price of the natural, but they are doing well. So I think there's a lot to do for the industry to do in terms of improving desirableness of diamond jewelry, and also how it can relate more to consumers' demand and help each other spread the positive things about natural diamond jewelry.
I have a follow-up question on the technology used in gold, if you don't mind. Firstly, is that part of the gold industry's storytelling? You know, Kent, you mentioned that the gold is telling a good story, but are they using that technology angle? And then the second follow-up question is whether the use of technology in gold production is affecting the quality of the gold carat weight and content.
Okay. I think first of all, innovation is part of the reason to make gold jewelry become more popular, because as Lauren say, the industry improved the gold hardness so that it can close to 18 karat, and so that we can make the craftsmanship more dedicated, and then make design more diversified, diversity. But another thing is that I think the design and or the theme that they can use, they have abundance of Chinese culture put into the jewelry so that it can attract young people's attention. But I think we can discuss how we can ride on this train, gold jewelry, but we can mix with diamond. I think that is another point that we can help us to bring new idea and bring new opportunity. Give you example. Recently, jade or fei chui also rising up. Pearl is rising up. How do you understand? At 2023, jade category already posts the second largest category in Chinese retail consumption, which is override diamond. So why is that? Doesn't mean the customer only looking for gold jewelry. They're also looking for gem jewelry, like ruby, sapphire, also rising. Pearl jewelry also rising. Jade, fei chui rising.
Right.
Only diamond coming down. I think that is why the forum. We all put the people together to discuss what happened. More importantly, take action immediately, as we did. We work together with Hong Kong Diamond Federation. Take action immediately, as we understand risk come opportunity. Okay, so but it should take long time to rebuild customer confidence, because in the past 2 to 3 years, diamond industry has been highly affected by lab-grown diamond. They released some misinformation, so that lead to customer misjudge, and customer hesitate to buy diamond. They want to find out what happened. Okay, if we can clearly define two kind of product, then I think the market will be covered. Of course, we need to work together.
So you bring up a number of points, and we will delve into each of them. Before we do so, I'd like to turn to Andy, and going back to that question about the slowdown or perceived slowdown in China happening at the same time as the United States, affecting the industry. And so Andy, what are you seeing as the sort of broader macro factors that have influenced that to occur in the Chinese market?
See, the slowdown of the economic growth of the China, the seed was already sown somewhere pre-COVID itself, when there was a problem between India and China, China and America, the trade tariff and the trade war. That was a problem. And that was the time when the economy was already started facing little bit of pressure, but that was just a beginning, and I think that time the problem was not so grave. And then on top of it, we have seen the COVID. So the COVID, it is like, it has impacted everybody around the globe. And definitely in China, it is much more longer. The lockdown, the anxiety through which the people have been through, when the things will open up, and the anxiety of their a limited source of income through the time. All those things in a cumulative way has reduced the confidence of the consumer to come out and to run the economy, because at the end of the day, most important element of any industry is consumer only. May not be the miner, may not be the retailer, no matter how good the retailer is, until or unless the consumer don't have that confidence or the willingness to spend or willingness to get attracted towards the sparkle and the shine of that diamond or that towards that industry, consumer will not come and directly buy. They would, I think they would try to save their money. And on top of it, if we just see the normal Asian culture, where people, they put a lot of their money in the real estate, and some of them in the stocks, some people with the money with the stock, and mainly all those main majority will put their money in the property market, I mean their savings and all those things. So all those things, when you see the downturn and volatility at a very high level, that impacts a lot. And then China economy is also shifting from only an export-oriented economy to somewhere trying to be a consumer-oriented economy, but that will take some time. But in the beginning, there will be some aftermaths which we are seeing. And then you see the demographical problems, like the aging population, that is also increasing. So the youngsters are getting lesser, and the productivity in a long term will impact. So if we see current situation, we are in 2024. We see the past was volatile. We see the present volatile. You see the future. Nobody can say for sure what the future is. So it is like it makes everybody nervous. It puts everybody in a nervous form, and all the consumer, by and large, would like to hold their savings or their products in their hand, or whatever is their asset in their hand, as much as possible. I think all those things collectively, and on top of it, one more issue is coming up, like, there is a cultural change in the marriage life. If you'll see the Asian countries, that marriage concept is not as much as compulsory what it was before.
Right. So, you mentioned a few issues there. Firstly, we tend to forget that it's only a year, basically, since China opened up from COVID. And we have a habit of comparing the COVID experience in the United States, which bounced back very quickly, and trying to apply to the Chinese experience. And so, Sissi, I wonder if you can speak to the consumer mindset. From the NDC's perspective, what sort of impact did COVID have on consumer habits and consumer trends and the consumer mindset and their attitude towards the jewelry product?
I think in the post-COVID era, the overall consumer spending habits are rapidly changed. But despite the economic uncertainty, there is a persistent demand in the luxury item, which is mainly driven by the preference of the local high-end brand. The consumer in China are increasingly discerning. They are valued, they're looking for some quality. They're seeking for the value that through the online platform, like the WeChat group, like live stream shopping. This, I think, is reflect the maturing market that the consumer has becoming savvier and also the value oriented, and also speak about the consumer trends. I think the consumer base in China are vast and ever growing. Make it as a pivotal focus for the whole global diamond industry. And in the recent years, we've observed some fascinating shifts in the consumer behavior, particularly in purchase diamond, I have to say. So I think this is not at the surface level. This is deeply intertwined with the culture, with the economic, and also the technological evolution. So if we're talking about the consumer trend, I think one big one is the sustainability and ethical sourcing. So the Chinese consumer today, they are more focused on what, where their diamond come from and how it's being sourced. So they want their diamond ethically sourced and certified to be conflict-free. So transparency through the whole supply chain become a major factor in the consumer decision. I think the secondly we've seen is about the raise of the digital native. So those young folks, they are meaning to drive this shift. So they're just about to shopping everything online. Not only because there is, the super convenience of the shopping online, but also, there is a huge variety of the options and also, wealth of information they can find. So to addressing this, like visual try-on or, the VR experience could be a hint that to make the online experience even cooler and more interactive. I think also the third trend we've observed is all about the personalization and unique experiences. So the Chinese consumer today is not really just out there to buy any diamonds, but they want something special. They want their shopping experience as unique as they are. They want a diamond can tell their personal story or match their entity. So I think this also led to the increase in demand of the customized design piece, as well as the unique diamond cuts and the colors. I think last trend to be mentioned here is about the cultural influences and the modern interpretation. So in Chinese wedding, diamond is taking on a new role. Although the tradition of diamond engagement ring remains strong, but however we have see the very obvious shift towards the modern and unconventional design. So I think, that's many of consumer trends which happened recent years, which also particularly in this post-COVID period.
Thank you. That's very insightful. So Marcus, in your role as an account manager at De Beers for retail, how do you approach that challenge of ensuring that natural diamonds are at the forefront of the consumer mindset, given these changes that we've experienced?
I think in De Beers, you always invest in the promotion of natural diamonds. And just last year, we invest 20 million to we introduced the Diamonds is a Forever campaign during the holiday season. And then in this part of the world, we kickstart the campaign with the announcement of the Chinese actress, Janice Mann, to become our ambassador. We have a natural mic drop exhibition in Hong Kong. And then building on that success, we have another event in Beijing, which is also quite successful. The campaign, we have about 6.3 billion impressions and 900 clips online. So, and this year, we will carry on working on the promotion with our customer like China Fook and also other customers in the US to carry on with the momentum.
Right. So Kellan, we were discussing in private before the panel the use of social media influences in promoting diamond jewelry. Within the trade, and in my world as a journalist, and I think a wannabe influencer, let's say, we see very sort of dedicated jewelry influencers on Instagram, particularly on Instagram, some on TikTok, really being very effective in putting the story out of natural diamonds and in jewelry in general, I think, particularly also in colored gemstones. So, Kellan, I wonder, in your approach as a retailer in the Chinese market, if you're, to what extent are you relying on your engagement with your potential customers, with your community on social media?
Well, definitely social media or digital marketing is the most important platform for us to communicate with our consumers. Nowadays, like TikToks, in China, we have the Xiaohongshu, or the Little Red Book. Yes, it's very important how storytelling and emotional appeals that brands, we need to have craft brand narratives so we can connect, emotional connect with our consumers. But nowadays that we realize there's a lot of, I should say, like information that's, I can't say it's wrong, but misinformation, I should say, information flying about natural diamonds, it's like not good, the price is going down. That does, really affect our industry. So one thing that we need to have as the whole is to have a united voice, to have one voice that to express what natural diamond really is, and how the meeting in either in bridal or in marriage. So especially for our young generations, they're on TikToks and every day. So I think this is we need to focus more on the information, like specific information that we need to send out to our consumers.
Well, Sissi, over the years since the Natural Diamond Council rebrand, the sort of the underlying theme has been that content is king. And so how do you approach it in the Chinese market as many in the industry look to the NDC as sort of this as the marketing body that represents them to the consumer? So how do you think about these issues of marketing natural diamonds in the Chinese market?
Yeah, I think it's overall request the multi-faced approach that combines the understanding of consumer value, leveraging the modern marketing channels, and also to emphasize the real, rare, and responsible of natural diamonds. So if we're talking about the strategy to engage and captivate the consumers, so I think like I just share some trends. First of all, we need to emphasize the message of sustainability and the ethical practice. And secondly, I think we need to really capitalize to leveraging the digital and the social channels. We know that those digital natives, those young folks, they spend significant amount of time online. So we need to utilize those channels for storytelling, for to showcasing the beauty and the uniqueness of natural diamonds, and also to engage consumers through the influencers, the interactive content, and also the targeted advertising for sure. That could be more effective. So the platform, like just Ken said, that WeChat, Red, TikTok extras are crucial to reach out those demographics. I think also it's important to create a meaningful and a relatable content. The content that resonates to a personal level. For instance, a story about a journey of a diamond from mine to market, or a diamond can symbolize the personal milestone and value that could be compelling. So also, like a campaign that featuring a real people to talk about, their personal achievement, the love or the self-expression through diamonds could also, force a strong emotional connection with our consumers. I think also, experience. So we need to engage those young consumers through, the experience, like whatever the VR, AR experience, the in-store activities, the shows, the exhibitions, which can leave the latest impression for the consumers. And those experiences allow the consumer can learn about natural diamond, to seeing beauty up close, and also they can really to understand the value of natural diamond. So that could be more impactful than the traditional advertising.
Right. Kent, briefly, because we are running out of time, I'm curious as to how you approach it from a branding perspective, because there is this sort of market, there is the broader market, broader industry marketing, which the NDC is involved in, and to some extent De Beers as well. But Chow Fook is a different, has a different structure and different role to play, and is very strong on its branding. So does your approach to marketing then change because or differ because you have that focus?
Okay, first of all, I think we have to stay confident with diamond, okay? Especially natural diamond. We have to make sure, as our company, we have to have a very strong message, no matter to the public, no matter to our colleagues, that we are committed to natural diamond, okay? No choice, definitely, okay? So even though we overcome a downturn, but we believe in the long run, the natural diamond is rare, okay? And then, so that I agree, say, marketing, especially public education to the young customer, tell them the truth, tell them the right story, okay, right information, so that they can make the right decision. That's important, I mean, for the whole industry, how we work together from mine to, retailer, okay, that is important. So I think I agree, so that we work closely with NDC to educate public, the consumer. Importantly, as a company, we have to evolve ourselves. For example, improve our training to the sales associate. Imagine that the people, the sales associate in the front line, if they don't believe natural diamond, how they can tell the good story, how they can sell product. I think we have to focus on training people. Second, I think in terms of design, and I think that is another thing we have to improve. Not only we only sell a piece of diamond, but a piece of diamond jewelry with good stories, so that you can pass through your wish, your story to next generation. I think that is another thing we have to focus on. That's something we already say in our next 5 years company strategy. We already very clear that improve product offering, set and training, people and culture. That's how we already put into our company strategy.
That is so important, and something that's underemphasized, I think, within the industry, and particularly within the trade. That the products, the sum of the total is more than the total is more than the sum of the components and the parts, and so it's such an important message. Before we close up, I would like to touch on the bridal market, because I think there is some misunderstanding about the size and potential of the bridal market in China. And my understanding is that, and I think, Lawrence, you provided this information to me, that there's been a drop-off in the number of weddings that are taking place in China. So Lawrence, why do you think that is? What is behind that?
I think I think in the last decade, the so-called the younger generations, I think it's ever evolving. Attitude towards life, towards family, towards career, towards work-life balance. How do you spend your savings? You want an experience. I still remember Mr. Rappaport used to say, in the States, you prove your sincerity in your proposal by the price of the diamond ring that you got for your fiancé, right? I mean, if you're willing to pay half of your saving on the price on the diamond ring, that proves to her that she means a lot to you. I think that's true. As I totally agree with you. I think there's a lot of things we cannot change per se, like purchasing power. I mean, it's the economy, whether people can make enough money to save, to spend, and then. So this, I think the industry, there's nothing much we can do about it. But we can always try to improve the appeal of natural diamond to all participants, all consumers. Like the ones who already own natural diamond, actually, most of them would not buy a lab-grown, because once they buy one lab-grown piece of jewelry, all the 10 or 15 pieces she bought before became lab-grown. So she wouldn't risk that, right? But on the other hand, engagement market is always a very important market, because it's a very important purchase to commemorate a very important incident and a relationship. And more than that, I think when the lady has an engagement ring, so the next anniversary will be a pair of earring or a necklace to go with it. So it will bring on sales later on. So I think we all discuss about marketing, the importance of marketing. And lately in our company we discuss about, I'm reading a lot of Rappaport magazine. I'm reading the World Diamond Federation newsletter messages. I'm reading the IDMA message. In fact, these are all informations of diamond industry development. And actually, I'm giving this to our marketing people, not only to our marketing people, but also to our sales department, because they can retrieve a lot of information. Because today, the consumers come to our store, they just don't come and buy one piece of thing. They like to communicate. So what's the newest design? So what's the news about diamonds? And I think nowadays, consumers like to go online because of curiosity. They want to find out more about a brand or a diamond jewelry. Oh, the market is going up. Then they might encourage each other to buy before they become more expensive. So I think the marketing part doesn't stop at putting up ad or just the social media that we are, but it's every level, especially at the retail, at the shop level, where our people really talk to the consumers. And I think, and I'm so glad to see that lately, actually in the last year, as Ken has said, a lot of collaborations and cooperations, like De Beers is supporting the Diamond Federation's diamond draw, and at the same time, Natural Diamond Council is also working with different associations and retailers and actually Natural Diamond Council have always been good at synthesizing a lot of positive information about diamonds that can be passed to the retailer. Right. And it's really up to the retailer to use this positive information to tell their clients who is in front of them that she can convince them and answer all the questions they have. So I think, like today's meeting, the more communication we have within the industry, with our consumers or with cross-industry, how to give a better choice, more information to the consumer will be very helpful to further develop the diamond desirability in the eyes of the consumers.
Right. Certainly, knowledge is power, and it begins at in those 18 inches of the retail store. Marcus, if you want to touch on that, I'd be interested to hear the De Beers approach within the bridal market and responding to what Lawrence mentioned.
Sure. Yeah. We estimate that the China market in 2022 was 8.8 billion. Even though the declining marriage rate, the bridal jewelry still occupy about a quarter of this market. And then another good news is in 2022, the bridal acquisition rate was 47%. That means about half the people, when they get married, they'll buy a diamond jewelry. That was substantially more than a year before. So this is a good news for us. Yeah. And apart from that, another good news is, even though the marriage rate is declining, but 71% of women, they recognize that diamond jewelry is a symbol of love. And 78% of the diamond purchase is related to the relationship milestone or simply the expression of love.
Thank you. So just as a final sort of, let's call it a rapid fire question to end our discussion, I guess I'd like you all to take out your crystal ball and make some predictions, not necessarily about growth and in the market, but I think based on what you're seeing today, I'm interested to hear what trends you're looking out for in the year of the dragon. And so, Andy, if we can start with you, if you don't mind, what's your big story that you're expecting or looking out for in 2024?
Sorry, can you repeat again the last line?
Sorry.
The last line.
What is the big story, the big trend that you have your eye on for this year?
See, what I see, according to my takeaway, that we are passing through a very, very sensitive time. I would say that complete diamond industry is passing through a very sensitive time where there is a lot of impact from the different dynamism is there. So in a normal time, what all we need to do is to improve and get the things done. That would be like a normal time. But this is a very special time, and the situation is one of its kind of situation. So all the aspects not only need to be addressed in a improving or the local or the improvement concept or the improvement perspective. It has to be a transcendental step to be taken collectively by the industry to keep the industry running in the same pace what it was.
That's great. Thank you. So let's have one or two sentences from each of you to close the panel. Kellan, do you have any crystal ball sort of trends or can be from a consumer habit and taste point of view or whatever you're looking out for as a company?
So I think first we definitely need to have confidence on natural diamonds, and we need to tell our consumers that at least we should have it, the confidence on the natural diamonds. And we also need to work with De Beers, only natural diamonds. We need to work together, right, to bring our market, back. Yeah.
Thank you. Marcus, do you have any closing thoughts?
Yeah, we're certainly in a low point in the cycle, but we believe that the toughest time have passed. And then when the industry now all working together to do more promotion, either online, offline, we believe we have much better times in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move to Kent and we'll jumble it up quickly. Do you have any expectations or main thoughts about the industry?
I think 2024 still challenge, okay? Remained like 2023. But as a whole, we must stay confident, stay agile to face different kind of challenges. But I think I hope that diamond jewelry can bottom out within this year. But certain data show me that we already stable. Okay, that is something I hope that we can work together closely to stabilize diamond sales in 2024.
Absolutely. Lawrence?
Well, I think for an industry, for example, actually, diamonds is priced in US dollars. So actually diamond prices in terms of local currency, like in yen, in a lot of currencies, the price had not dropped that much. As compared to other precious metals like platinum, copper, they all drop because of higher interest rate. So if we are worried about things that we can't control, we'll never be able to go to sleep. So my motto of the day is that every day, try to keep our customers happy. Give them information, give them new design, give them new experience, give them a reason to be happy with life, and diamonds will make them happy. So I think positive attitude, towards diamond, and I think everybody wants to hear positive things. So I think that will be, hopefully, will help us go through the tough times a lot more easier and faster.
Right. And Sissi smiling because it's really your job to make people happy, and well, that's everyone's job. We're in the business of joy at the end of the day that diamonds bring. So what is the maybe give us a little insight as to what the NDC is working on for this year.
I think I agree with Lawrence because when I'm smiling, I think we need something positive on the confidence in the whole market. So I think the Chinese diamond market is dynamic and rapidly evolving. From bright side, I hope 2024 could bring some good opportunity. So what we need to do is as a stakeholder that we need to stay agile. We need to be responsive to consumers' needs. And also our committed to the ethical practice. I think those efforts, I hope with those efforts that we could really to make this the whole market sustainable growth, and also to continue to captivate those consumers with the enduring and appeal of natural diamond. And also a small advertise here is, as NDC, so we are gearing up to announce the upcoming launch of our global Only Natural Diamond campaign, Real, Real, and Responsible, featuring Lily James, our global ambassador. So please stay tuned for more details to become, and we are looking forward to work more closely with our, the leading Chinese retailers in China to boost the desirability and the awareness of natural diamond among those consumers in China.
Thank you, Sissi, and that's certainly encouraging. And I think the underlying message that I got from our discussion today is that, yes, it is a challenging market for us, but there is reason to be optimistic about China. And it's also very much in our hands that we as an industry, as a community within the jewelry space, have what to do to stimulate demand and sales. And so I think that's something that everyone in the room can take and from today's discussion. So thank you, Kellan. Thank you, Marcus, Andy, Sissi, Lawrence, Kent. It's been a pleasure, and I appreciate your insights and time today. So thank you, and thank you everyone for listening. So next on the program will be the discussion on the G7 sanctions. So we can move on to that.